Hi, Keith here. Welcome to our summer art series. Today we're going to be working on an anime head. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the 2/3 view of this little girl. Basically, I like to start with a circle for the head. Then I'm going to bring my jawline down. And now here's the thing. When I do the jaw on this side, when you put your ear in, which maybe I should do, when you put your ear in, you bring the jaw down a little bit. You don't go right to the ear. You bring it down a little bit. And then you come across, okay? That way you get that little bit of jawline that I swear a lot of people miss. It is. Your jaw is slightly below your ear, so you need that little bit right there. Even if we're not going to see it once we put hair on it and everything, it just makes a difference. All right, so at this point, my little girl, her eyes are kind of down low, okay? And we're seeing more of the top of her head. So I'm going to put that line across. And then I'm going to do this line here. This kind of gives us our 3/4 view. Now this line is going to represent where we put the top of her eyes. Okay. Then we're going to have a big couple big ovals for the eyes. It's obviously anime. Now, we want her a little bit of a nose. And that is usually, if you look at the circle, it'll be almost right on the circle, okay? So, we got that. And then just a little bit below that, a little bit of a mouth, okay? So this now kind of gives us our head start. All right. And I'm just going to throw in a little bit of a collar, get a little bit of a shoulder here so you can kind of see. Like I said, it might not all stay, but gets us started. So basically now we have a head, and what we want to do now is kind of dress it up. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and we'll get rid of our guidelines. Like I said, you should never do them all that dark, okay? But with the camera and stuff, I have to, so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. All right. So now we're going to talk about hair. Hair has volume. So what we want to do is make sure that when we draw out our hair now, that it's actually above, as you can see, above and beyond the skull itself. And let's see here. Okay. We're going to go with this and this. So she's got some kind of like bob cut, or I don't know. All right. So at this point, I've got an outside around her head, and you can see it comes out, and that's what gives gives the hair a little bit of a volume. So across the top, what you need to think about is hair kind of comes from the top center up here. So what you want to do is when you do these little triangles of hair, that they look like they're going to be coming from somewhere near the top of her head, like that. Okay. Let's see, what do I got here? Here, and maybe one more. Okay. And now I can go ahead Oh, here, let's add a little one here and a little something goes behind there. All right, so at that point, I can now go ahead and remove the skull. That sounds terrible. All right. Nose is done, more or less. You can just give it a little bit of a shadow. Lips, small for anime usually. A little lower lip. I like to give them a little bit of a quirky smile or something like that. All right, so I'm going to clean this up now. Put this back in. Okay. So now we want her looking at us, okay? So we want these highlights to be more over to one side. We want the pupil to be even on the inside of the okay. And then what I do is I'll kind of cut them slightly below the highlight, and I will fill in the top and the pupil. So we get a nice shadow from the eyelashes. And let's try again on this side. I always like putting a little bottom. That's personal choice. All right. So the ear, basically, we just kind of come up and over. Pardon? Ah, I'm getting secret instructions. Basically, stay out of the picture. All right, what's missing? All right. So there's my rough draft. Now, usually what I'll do is I'll do a rough draft and make all my mistakes, and then usually I will take it on a light box and I'll trace it out so that all the mistakes are gone. I'm on a clean sheet of paper again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this one, and I did one earlier. And now I'm going to just do a little ink technique, hopefully. All right, I just had them before. Here's the brush. So I kind of like using the brush. I have been practicing with it. I'm not absolutely super good yet, but what I love with the brush is you're not just outlining something. You're actually kind of sketching with a brush. And I thought I had another brush. But again, these are the Micron pens. This is the one with the brush. So the idea is to get comfortable, and you don't have to like follow the line super carefully. Actually, I think it's more fun if you kind of get loose and take shorter strokes. And make this a more sketchier image rather than, you know, copying it exactly, following the lines. See how I break it up with long and short? Then I'll come in, I can do her collar real quick. The only thing with these pens is I tend to rush my line a little bit. I think you have to stroke a little bit slower, so you got to kind of figure out how the pen works. There we go. So again, the other thing is, the trick is also to keep your hand out of the ink. You do need to let things dry a little bit with these guys. Again, I'm going to flip this over. And I think the trick too is to find the right angle for what works for you, comfort-wise. Again, I like to kind of fill the top of the eye and the pupil. And anime tends to have very large light sources, if you know. So instead of a little dot, make it a big dot. Reflections in the eyes. I think it is definitely gives it that anime feel. So I am going to kind of push that in. All right. So I haven't screwed up too hard yet. Am I? Excellent. Okay. Yee. Trying to figure out the angle to sketch this at, and I'm leaning in again. All right. So the other part of, I think, the boldness of anime is that you do get some shadowing in there. Well, let me get this first. Let's get everything done. Okay, lips.
See it through your hand.
Okay. So, now that I think I have all the heavy line done, I'm going to grab just a regular micron pen. I'm going to use the heavier, one of the heavier sizes. Ooh, that looks big. Put this pen away. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to accent some of the shadowing under the hair. Just to make it a little bit bolder. And of course, you're going to decide what you're going to do color-wise. I'm not finishing this. I'm just doing the black and white. You guys do what you got to do. And when it comes to color, you guys don't listen to me anyway. You all have your own special thing. All right. Forgot this jaw. So I'm going to give it a nice bit of shadow under there too. All right, now for hair, I'm just gonna throw a few more lines in. All right. Now for the rest of the eyes, I'm probably just gonna do a little hatch around the one side. I'm going to leave this light. We'll let that go. And I guess we can call it done. Like I said, it's just a quick black and white. Adding color is going to make a big difference, so that's your job. Anyway, I'm going to call this done. Hey, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and check out rkmcguire.com.